Yogis, namaste. Welcome back to your practice and to your mat. As always, happy to have you here. Now today's sequence is going to be a little more unique as compared to what we normally do at the hideout. We've got a pretty intuitive flow today. So what that means is I will be encouraging you to move freely, to encourage a bit more exploration of your own body without too much structure. Okay, with that being said, you might have blocks to support your practice. And let's go ahead and get started. Okay, we'll just find a nice upright seated position. Okay, so I am in Sukhasana. You could take heroes or anything that feels comfortable to you at this moment. Then whenever you're ready, make any adjustments. You can wriggle, you can roll out your shoulders. Just take whatever you need to arrive into stillness here. Okay, once you arrive, you may close down your eyes. It will just be here for about 4 to 5 breaths, just enough time for you to check in with yourself, for you to notice your physical body, to notice your breath. And if anything else comes up for you, anything that is obvious or that is sticking out to you, just observing your thoughts and observing the observations themselves, okay, whatever that you may notice here. Now allowing for about 4 more breaths. Take another 3. You could be in complete stillness, or maybe your body is still adjusting. That is okay. Last 2 breaths here. And then arriving at your last breath. Now, still keeping your eyes closed, give yourselves this last maybe 1 or 2 more extra breaths to just pay attention to what it was that came up for you. It could be anything at all. Maybe it's certain parts of the body that may be a bit more sensitive. Maybe it's thoughts looming around your head. Maybe it's the cadence of your breath. Okay, so whatever your observation may be, you're just playing the role of the person that looks at it from the outside. Okay, so the observer looking at the observation, or the observer that notices what happens within you. And then in your stillness, take 1 more breath. Now very softly from here, you may keep your eyes closed and just start to introduce movement into your neck. So that could mean you're moving in circles. But today you don't want to restrict it to moving in full circles. You could, in fact, move it back and forth. Okay, so just encouraging a little bit more of this sense of play or sense of exploration. You could hold any part of the stretch. You could continue to move in a way that serves you. Just opening up through your cervical spine, your neck muscles, your head. Can we give ourselves 2 or 3 more breaths? You're already paying attention to the observations that come up to you here. Whether you feel stiff or you feel open. 1 or 2 more breaths. And then eventually, after your last breath, returning center, coming back to your seated pose, and keep your eyes closed for your last 2 breaths. And take just 1 more here. Okay, now from here, begin to open your eyes. Now we're going to take a twist first. Inhale, arms reach up. It's a very gentle twist. You rotate the body to the right. Okay, keep your hands reaching up. So as you do so, your 2 hips are on the mat. Breathe here. Just notice your spine for 2. Notice your spine for 1 more breath. Now keep your hands up. Just come back center. Breath in. Breath out. Rotate over to the left. And take a moment here. Another 2. And another breath. Now coming back center. Inhale, reaching the arms up again. Exhale, the right fingertips come down by the side of the hip, and then your left fingers can extend over the head. Okay, now in this position, instead of just holding in stillness, If you prefer some form of movement, maybe you're having that left hand moving around in circles, just to notice your shoulder, and maybe you notice your side body as well. Take just one more breath here. And then slowly come back center, two hands go up. Switching over, left fingertips find the mat, right hand extends up first, and then exhale, come into a side bend. So same thing here, maybe you start to explore, or you could stay in stillness by all means. Okay, maybe if you're making circles, they start small, they get bigger, 2 more breaths. Last one here. Okay, let's come back center. Inhale, 2 hands reach. Release the hands, exhale. Now from here, you're gonna hold on to your right leg, yeah? So left hand is onto the foot, right hand is onto the knee. So if you were in hero's pose, you're just gonna shuffle around to Sukhasana, cross-legged seat. Now bringing your left foot in a little closer towards the middle, you're gonna maybe find a stack here. So maybe that right foot is on top of the left knee. Maybe the right knee is on top of that left foot. So you're coming into like a double pigeon position. Now, if you need a block just to support here, you can place it under the right knee. Okay, then just give yourselves a moment here. You might adjust your seat. Notice how this feels, not just into the hips, but into other parts of the body as well. And then inhale, reaching the arms up. And exhale, you might cup the fingertips down outside of the knees, and then you might just lift and lower with the spine here. Okay, as you come forward, you can choose to find a flat back. And then as you exhale and you roll this up, you might round the back. Okay, you can play around with some movement in the spine here, and then notice how it relates to the hips. 2 more breaths here. 1 more like this. Okay, whenever you're ready, just sitting up tall. And from here, just taking your right arm up towards the ceiling. Right hand, hold the base of the right foot. So you're gonna come into a twist. Left fingertips can walk out to the left and maybe towards the back of your left hip. Okay, you could stay here, or you can still make circles with that left hand. Okay, or you can keep your fingers behind you onto the mat and finding a tall spine, your choice. There's a little bit of resistance of that right hand pressing into the right sole of the foot. So take what you need here. Maybe you're moving the left hand. Maybe you're finding stillness. Just 2 more breaths. And let's give ourselves 1 more breath here. Slow inhale. Slow exhale. Okay, from here, just come back center. Right fingertips behind you. Now, if you have a block under your right knee, go ahead and set it aside. From here, hands behind you again. Can we straighten out that left leg to the front? Okay, so now essentially you're in a figure 4 shape with your right ankle on top of your left knee. Now from here, we're going to take this over to the left. So step your right foot onto the mat, just outside of your left knee. Right hand is going to move over to the left. So 2 hands are over the left side of your mat. Now you might walk your hands further away to the left. You might come down, maybe left elbow comes down first. Maybe right elbow follows. Okay, or if you prefer, maybe left hand stays down or on your palm. Maybe the right hand moves in circles this time. Okay, so as always, you can continue to move. You can find stillness and you can have a mixture of both as well. Just 3 more breaths here. Okay, so any form of movement. You may even lift the body higher, maybe shift over to the back, maybe shift over to the front. Just 1 more breath here. Take your time, just exploring the body. And then eventually finding your way back up. If your elbow or elbows are down, pressing your way up. And then sitting tall, right hand behind you. Release the right leg forward. So now you have 2 legs in front of you. You could take your hands back. Just roll out your ankles this time. Okay, so again, there's no structure in the movement. Just take what you need here. 1 or 2 breaths. And your final breath here. Okay, from here, come back center. Let's go ahead and switch sides. You can come into a cross-legged seat first, bend the knees. And now this time, you're gonna hold on to the left leg. Okay, left hand onto the knee, right hand onto the foot. Inch your right foot in towards middle first. And then maybe find a stack. Okay, ankle over the knee, knee over the ankle. Then again, you might reintroduce a block underneath the left knee. Okay, or a towel, anything soft will do as well. Take your time here, just notice the body first. And then as and when you feel ready, inhale, 2 hands reach up. And then exhale, maybe the fingers cup down outside of your knees or outside of your hips. And then you could stay in stillness, or you could floss out your spine here, any form of movement. Okay, so there are instances where you would extend the spine, and then there are instances where you would round and flex the spine. Can we do another 3 more breaths? Slow and steady. Last 2 here. And just 1 more, any form of movement or stillness. Okay, as and when you're ready, just rising back up, sitting tall. This time the left hand goes up, and then the left hand holds onto the base of the left foot. Okay, so apply a little bit of pressure onto the sole of the foot. Right hand, again, you could cup the mat behind you, or you could find movement. Okay, this time I'm going to stay in stillness, but know that you have the options available to you. So if you're coming into stillness, perhaps your spine is upright and tall here, with a little bit of press into the fingertips behind you. Take about 3 more breaths, wherever you may land. Take another 2, and just 1 more here. Okay, from here, we're going to release. So take your left hand up and to the back. Release the block first from underneath the knee. And then now this time, hands go behind you, lean your weight back, right leg, kick it towards the front. Finding a figure 4 here, so once again, you're noticing your body first. And then in your own time, let's come down to the right. So left hand comes up again. Left hand moves towards the right, and as you do so, begin to step your left foot onto the mat. Okay, so take your time to adjust here. Maybe your hands will walk forward, over to the right. Maybe your right elbow finds the mat. Maybe you stay on your palm here. So again, you could just hang out here in stillness, finding a bit of a surrender towards the mat, or your left hand could move around. So again, just explore, lean into your intuition, listen to what your body is needing at this moment. Okay, another 3 more breaths. No rush here. Allowing for another 2. And just moving into our last breath here. Slow inhale and a slow exhale. Okay, pressing your way up if you're down onto the mat. Release the left hand back behind you. Straighten out left leg. Then 1 more time, walk the hands behind you. Roll out into your ankles. Okay, just a couple rounds here, 1 or 2 more breaths. Okay, now this time, come back center. Step your 2 feet in. So your knees are up to the ceiling. Pressing down into your hands behind you. And just find a small lift of the hips. Okay, it may not be a full reverse tabletop. We're just noticing here the weight coming onto the hands and the hips extending up. Maybe you rise up onto your tippy toes. And then maybe you lower. Okay, take 2 more times like that. Reaching up, rising up onto your tippy toes. Exhale, set it down. Maybe you lift the toes this time. So flex the feet. 1 more time. Lifting up. And lowering down. Okay, now this time, you're going to press into your hands again. Lift the hips. Walk the hands forward. Eventually finding your way into like a tight squat at the front of your mat with your heels lifted. Okay, from here, take the hands even further forward and gently set the knees down onto the mat. Okay, when the knees come down, walk your hands forward. It's okay to be slightly off of your mat. You're going to untuck the toes. Sit all the way back. Hero's pose. Fingertips move back outside of your feet. Lift the knees. Okay, you're just going to warm up into the tops of the feet, into your ankles here. So a couple rounds like this. Knees come down, knees lift. Okay, fingers support behind you. Take 2 more rounds like that. Can we give ourselves 1 more breath? And maybe this last one, we hold it up. Pause. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, gently bring the knees back down. Walk the hands forward. Lift the hips, curl the toes under, lift the knees off the mat. Okay, so you're back into your tight squat here. Now from here, fingertips press down, lift the hips. Can you step your left leg all the way to the back? Okay, once your left leg is all the way back, lower the knee down onto the mat. Bring one hand onto the right thigh, two hands onto the right thigh. Okay, so you're finding your way up into an 𝙎𝙬𝘎𝑎𝑠ana. Once you're here, encourage the weight to shift forward and then pull back. Okay, just a few times. Shifting forward, pulling back. Let's do that one more time. Shifting forward, pull it back. Now from here, shift it forward. You're going to keep your left hand to the outside of your right knee. Sweep your right arm back behind you. And with that, maybe you place the right hand at the sacrum. Maybe you come into a half bind, so right fingers find their way towards the left inner thigh. Okay, so again here you can shift forward, pull back. We've got just 2 more breaths. You could stay in stillness, up to you. 1 more breath here. Now keep your half bind and keep your body in this position, twisting towards the right. Bring your left fingertips down onto the mat, or you can find a block. Okay, so I'm going to use a block for this one. Feel free to place a block underneath your left hand. Now from here, can you open the body to the right? So you continue to twist over to the right. Now keeping your right hand behind you in a half bind, we're going to floss this out like a half split, okay? So feel free to use a block anytime. Shift the hips back. You're flexing the front right toes. Coming back forward again, so rebend the knee. Exhale, take it back. One more time like this, towards the front. And then towards the back. Now from here, come back forward, release the half bind, so the right arm goes up. And then right hand onto the right thigh again, left hand onto the right thigh, rising back up, 𝙎𝙬𝘎𝑎𝑠ana. Okay, just hang out here, give yourselves a 1 more breath, big inhale, big exhale. Okay, if you have a block on your left, remove it. Fingertips down, join the knees, child's pose. Okay, allow the hips to sink back for a moment. If you prefer to sit up, know that you can. Come into heroes. You can even give yourselves a stretch first, fingertips behind you, extending the front of the body. Wherever you may be, just a couple breaths. 2 more here. You can even add some neck circles, some shoulder releasing moves. Last breath, no rush. Okay, just noticing your body as you explore. Okay, whenever you're ready, let's come back forward, hands onto the mat, like a tabletop. You can crawl forward, yeah, if you're further back like me. And then from here, very simple, left leg towards the front. Okay, we're gonna switch sides from here. You can already have your block to the right side to prepare. Left hand on the left thigh. Make sure your stance is wide. Right hand on the left thigh. Okay, so a couple rounds, just shifting forwards and back again. Noticing the hips, noticing the hamstrings. Let's do 3 more breaths. Take another 2. Last one here. Big inhale, slow exhale. Okay, from here, this time you're going to keep your right hand to the outside of the left knee. Left hand is going to reach back behind you. Then again, you could choose, place the hand at the sacrum or move the fingers to the right side waist. Okay, essentially coming into a half bind on the left side. So just maybe 2 more breaths here. You could shift the weight forward, shift the weight back. 1 more time like this. Okay, then now from here, keeping your half bind and keeping the body open to the left, right hand is going to come down onto that block or onto the mat. And then now once your fingertips or your palm lands, we're going to start to shift forwards and back. Okay, so coming into that half split flossing. First round, just noticing how the hamstring responds and then make the adjustments accordingly. You could prop it up, you could remove your prop, but you do not have to straighten that left leg. Okay, let's just do 2 more breaths here. Take your time. 1 more breath, no rush. Okay, eventually finding your way back. Release that left hand up and then left hand down. Remove the block and move yourself back. Child's pose or a hero's pose, rest here. Okay, so you could stay with the body down, you could bring yourself up, you could continue to just release any other parts of the body here. And take 2 more breaths before we end up into stillness again. Now, if you're in child's pose, begin to roll yourselves up, coming into heroes, or you could change this into a sukhasana, just like how we started our practice. And then give yourselves a moment here. After all that movement, we want to find stillness. So adjusting the body, finding comfort, and go ahead and land into 5 breaths of stillness. Maybe you close down your eyes, or maybe you soften your gaze downwards to the mat. This time, just breathing, nothing else. Now very softly bring your hands together in prayer, center of your chest. Bow the head down towards the fingers. Give yourself an inhale here. Your exhale, forehead towards the mat. And thank you so much for joining us for practice today. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Namaste, yogis.